So these are our people, and they're of all stripes, all political stripes. This is simple common sense, and I'm carrying, and honored to carry, Chelsea's law in the Senate. And I think that just to say a few quick words, I know this is somewhat of a longer conference, but the story of Chelsea Murray is really so appropriate to why this package of bills is so important. Chelsea had struggled with addiction for years, and her parents found her unresponsive in the bathroom, administered Narcan, and she was transported to Stony Brook University Hospital. And in the meantime, they found a little red bag of laced fentanyl. They ultimately received phone calls on her phone because the drug dealer didn't know that Chelsea had overdosed. She unfortunately was unconscious and was still alive, and she was receiving phone calls looking to get paid. The drug dealer wanted to get paid. The drug dealer wanted another sale. They contacted the Suffolk County Police Department, and that outstanding agency jumped right on it. And then Chelsea's boyfriend, an undercover police officer, called him back. He ultimately was arrested, sold the exact same style packet that killed Chelsea. And more importantly, once his phone was recovered, he was bragging about, I'm here, I'm arrested, and that bitch died, and now I got to deal with this. And more importantly, in his phone, he said he was dealing a Fetty mix, complete knowledge that clearly he's not Pfizer or has any quality control, simply cutting this deadly drug, the weight of a mosquito, as Senator Rhodes said, the nose of Abraham Lincoln on the penny. Those are the amounts that can kill you. So they cut it with Trank, they cut it with all of these, and the district attorney had their hands completely tied. In fact, that defendant was bail eligible. You could not charge manslaughter. So what these laws do, and what Chelsea's law specifically does, is it creates, if you knew or should have known standard. It's not a strict liability standard. There is an element of proof. And that's what is so smart, as Assemblyman Stern had mentioned, that you bring in all the stakeholders. Everyone involved, you bring in people on all sides of the aisle to try and do this right and do it smart and make it extremely narrow so that it stays nice and tight, and it's not a complete overhaul of the criminal justice system. We say that a lot. We have a lot of partisan comments in that regard. That has nothing to do with this. This is supported by bipartisan groups, bicameral, and it's just simple, common sense to save lives and give law enforcement the tools that they need to send these people to jail for as long as they should, because that individual could very easily have just walked out, exact same circumstances. Someone has no prior, they'll be walking out, dealing that poison that afternoon because they're bail eligible. And one last comment, when you think about it from a common sense standpoint, if I put rat poison in your coffee, knowing that's what you do in your morning ritual and you drink it, you'll probably jump up and down that I should be charged with murder too. That's a murder, that's not a manslaughter. Chelsea's law modifies the recklessness and manslaughter in the second degree with some aggravating factors to make a more severe penalty. But how is rat poison a crime in New York State, but fentanyl that you're knowingly mixing at unknown levels and handing it to people and then pushing it and calling them back when they're in a hospital bed, brain dead, ultimately passing away? If Chelsea didn't pass away, that drug dealer would have been out. This is all this does. Simple, smart changes. Thank you for your time. I'm honored to be here with all of you, and thank you for letting me say a few words, Ray.